And good morning. Today, March 28th, 2022. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. These will be 7 news stories that are vetted by the vast people in the braveness of the internet, because they're brave and vast, that you may not have heard over the past weekend that you can take along with you for your water cooler talk, or your jogging talk, or your dog walking talk, or just your talk. These are stories that may not be the main headlines out there across the land. We like to think of ourselves as your tertiary news source, not your main primary news source. We have no problem being your, as we say, your news side piece. We give you a little bit when you need a little bit. That's not necessarily your mainstream stuff. And we thank you so much for all the people who are joining us. We broadcast this live every single weekday morning, Monday through Friday. And on Mondays, we expand this to my greater J. Cleveland Payne community, if you will. All my pages that are listed under my full name, not just the pages for this project, the Conversation Project. Make sure you get this 5 days a week, the Tuesday through Thursdays, by logging in and signing up to follow us on our This is Conversation Project Facebook page and our This is Conversation Project YouTube channel. So you get those Monday through Friday, not just the Monday ones on the J. Cleveland Payne pages. Now, on this Monday, we give you the full weekend's worth of work. So we're going to give you 7 stories that were vetted more or less by the internet. Today turned into a weird sort of entertainment tonight sort of version. We start off very sad, so I'm gonna give you that warning right now. Let's go ahead and get into the stories for this morning. This one, extremely sad. This was the top story for the weekend, happening early in the weekend. St. Louis girl fatally shoots cousin herself during live stream video at birthday party. USA Today is a source of this one. We pull all the time from stories, so they're all over the place, literally all over the place. This is one that we want to make sure that we give you some context for, and you want to look this one up on the internet to get deeper stories on it. Thoughts and prayers a lot in today's episode, but this one going deeply to the parents, the families of these 2 cousins, these young girls. A quick read from the article. 2 young cousins are dead after one fatally shot the other before shooting herself, according to police, in what family members called a freak accident during a birthday party at a St. Louis apartment on Friday. Paris Harvey, 12, and Kawan Harvey, 14, were shot and killed while the cousins were live streaming an Instagram from the apartment's bathroom at the 2 a.m. Friday, according to the family. The cousins were attending a family party to celebrate younger relatives' birthday for the month of March. Police are still investigating the shooting, but initially called it a murder-suicide. This is tragic. This is sad. I don't want to even add any more to this. We often do commentary on, if you're new to here, we often do commentary on some stories. This is one that needs no commentary. We are sending out thoughts and prayers, love, and all the hugs we can to the families involved in this one. And we hope to have some sort of resolution for it very, very soon. If you want to read more of that, check out the article on USA Today or just search for it online and you'll get more details on this one. Going next to Taylor Hawkins, dead. Foo Fighters drummer dies at age 50 at his band shares heartbreak. Mirror.co.uk, our source of this one. This one, of course, went worldwide as well. Thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Hawkins' family and, of course, the Foo Fighters' extended families and the Foo Fighters themselves, the musical family, as they've lost a friend, a comrade, a compatriot. Now, this story got bigger as it got bigger. First, we have the news of his death, which was shocking, which was out of the blue. Then we got news from autopsy reports. If we are to believe what's been said so far, and some things confirmed, some things not. They believe he died of an overdose. They believe he had 10 different substances in his system at the time of his death. Now, there are all sorts of heartwarming and great tributes going out to him, including an issue where literally hours before this happened, he met a 10-year-old drummer and got the chance to play. She got a chance to play with him for one of those dream things, playing with one of your idols in the music business. We're going to let this one lie as well. Not much add to this one. We're going to keep an eye on this one, guys. I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan, and just this is one that hits personally as a music lover, but we're going to keep up with this story as well. This is one you probably did hear about over the weekend, but we're going to find out what more we can find in the weeks, and as updates come, we will post them into our feeds, and we'll see if they come back in for our morning videos. Travis Scott performs first time since Astroworld at pre-Oscar party. TMZ, the source on this one, and we just popped this in there to see how it would go. You guys apparently got into this one. Travis Scott, of course, having the big old kerfuffle after his concert at Astroworld, where people were crushed to death in that scene, and he maybe tried to calm it down, maybe just laughed it off, and apparently went to Waffle House the next morning to just decided to just kind of lay low on it. He's out there now trying to make actual money again, doing a small show, a pre-Oscar party. So this wasn't anything large festival wise, a big crowd or anything like that, but this was something that popped up over the weekend as the Oscars were this weekend, Oscar weekend, and we'll delve into that a little bit in an odder way in a bit, so we'll talk about that. But Travis Scott back on the road. How do you feel about that? There's only so much you can do to punish a person, even if they do really heinous stuff. The liability on Travis Scott and his people to run this show are still kind of in question, whether they have the right amount of personnel out there to take care of the show. And Astroworld is there. This one back on the road, back on the scene, back doing a private party for a pre-Oscar party over the weekend. Next story coming up, Saturday Night Live star Michael Che announces he's leaving Weekend Update. Comicbook.com is the source of this one, and so we're going to take this one semi with a grain of salt and semi with a bit of just kind of a coming soon info. Where we got this from, or where Comic Book got this from, was essentially a stand-up show he did over the weekend. He basically said over the weekend in a stand-up show, like, he's done with Weekend Update. This is his last season doing it, off to bigger and better things. Michael Che, who did not start off as a comedian, basically got to start, sort of hustling stuff. A big part of his story was he was selling T-shirts essentially in New York City for a big part before he got into with the writers and a shot being a writer on Saturday Night Live. It's something that's if you are believing in miracles and making things happen, it's a good story to believe in. It's a hard story to get to. It's a very rough way to make your way into the living, but it worked out for him. And so if you want to do great things, don't give up. But this is maybe a precursor of what's to come. He has not quite responded to the articles or the little things coming out there. Michael Che essentially giving breaking news inside of a comedy show over the weekend, saying that he is wrapping up his time at Weekend Update. He's wrapping up with Saturday Night Live at the end of this season. Pacers-Raptors game gets suspended after fans and players flee burning speaker. Classes aren't working so well today. Fadeawayworld.net is the source of this one, another basketball blog. This is a very minor story in the world of stuff, but this is something you probably did not hear about. Basketball game was suspended. They'll have to figure out when to replay it, or maybe have to kill it eventually, between the Pacers and the Raptors up in Canada, as a malfunctioning speaker in the stands caught fire. That becomes a hazard. Everyone has to run, has to flee the building to save themselves. It was quite the sight to see. If you see the videos, check this out at fadeawayworld.net, or check out wherever you find your favorite NBA news. I'm sure it's in there someplace. But this is one that out of the weekend, as we want to remind you, yes, there is basketball going on. And yes, fairly soon there'll be basketball playoffs going on. And it looks like the Lakers aren't going to make it. Just had to throw that in there real quick. More Laker news in a bit. But it's just one of those freakish stories that popped up there. It fell into the range of stories that were vetted by you. And we'll explain how the vetted by you comes down in a bit. But this is one that you probably did not hear over the weekend, but some pretty cool extra water cooler talk to throw out to the folks out there during the day and the week as well. An interview with Chris Wallace as he begins his life with CNN on the new CNN Plus service. It's not an app, it's a service that starts on Tuesday. And here's the headline. Chris Wallace says working at Fox News became too unsustainable. People.com with the source on this one. And the source really came from CNN itself. CNN doing a lot of hype and promotion for the service starting on Tuesday, explaining what it is, why it is, and why they need to do it. And Chris Wallace giving some interviews on his move from Fox News to the CNN Plus version, and why it's a step down, but it's still a step into the right direction. He's no longer anchoring primetime news, or he's no longer a part of the big news organization. Maybe he'll show up on election night. We'll see what happens. But he's doing this thing on the CNN Plus because the Fox News world became, as he said, too unsustainable. He spent most of the last year actually looking for a new job as the 2020 stuff became really, 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 really sort of weird about all the stuff going on in 2020, and the the election and the insurrection. Essentially, the workers at Fox News and the works around Fox News became something that was just a bit too on the end of crazy and hard to just do hard news or just solid news, if you will, as opposed to all the crazy talk and all the propaganda things that Fox was basically pulling up. My words, not necessarily his words, paraphrasing to a point, but Fox News are not exactly playing the straight man these days, and in fact trying to play a little extra crazy to keep up with the other extra crazy stations that are saying they're serving to conservative, but they're serving up to essentially the crazies. Chris Wallace wanted a way out. He believes news is news. CNN offers him a place to do straight news his own way, and that's why you'll see him on CNN Plus starting on this Tuesday. If you want to subscribe to it, I'm not a shill for CNN and CNN Plus. They happen to be my main source of televised news, although I do watch some MSN and some Fox mixed into there to see what's going on. But you can see if you want to get into CNN Plus, they're saying it's not quite a streaming version of the main channel. They're saying it's a dedicated channel with lots of brand new and brand everyday new content for a new generation. Your mileage may vary, so you can check it out as you want to on the way. Quick break from the stories. One more story vetted by the people and our teaser story in a bit. But this is a stop for Bear Mattress. Check out the website or our link to the website at thisisaconversationproject.com/Bear Mattress and get a good night's sleep today or in about a week when the bed actually shows up. Bear Mattress has 4 different mattresses to choose from, 4 different styles, 4 different feels, if you will. And one of those mattresses will probably be the best one for you. Get a great night's sleep immediately once you pull it off your porch into your bedroom, open the box, and poof, the mattress appears. They're also offering right now for spring up to $325 worth of free accessories. That's sheets, that's pillows, that's all sorts of nice things to make your bed feel even better, although it feels pretty good on its own. Check out Bear Mattress at thisisaconversationproject.com/Bear Mattress. Thisisaconversationproject.com/Bear Mattress. Bear Mattress is an affiliate of ours, and this is an affiliate link, so we do get a percentage of the pay, but you pay nothing extra, you see nothing different, and you will feel the difference in your bed and in your sleep when you get a new mattress from Bear Mattress. Our final story of the day, vetted by you, is this one here. LeBron James named worst actor during the 42nd annual Golden Raspberry Awards. LakersDaily.com got that because no press is bad press. LeBron James, of course, star of Space Jam 2, Electric Boogaloo, was named by the Raspberries this year, the Golden Raspberries, as the worst actor of the year for a very terrible film, which no one believes deserved to exist, but it did, and people went to see it, and those that saw it were kind of disappointed. LeBron James, not the best actor. I mean, nobody is faulting LeBron James for doing extra stuff. He's doing a lot of acting. He's doing a lot of things where he brings his hair back naturally and it goes away again. But this was essentially a vanity project that he wanted to produce because he's kind of, trying to be the greatest and following a bit of the legacy of Michael Jordan by sequeling his story and doing something that sort of, he could do for his kids, although his actual kids weren't in the movie, is a story about him. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, it's a story about him and his son, not wanting to play basketball, wanting to do computer stuff, and LeBron wanting him to do basketball because he LeBron and they do basketball. And Don Cheadle is a computer glitch and other things, and the Goon Squad comes back in 3D animation for the Looney Tunes, and a little less sexy Lola Bunny, which freaked people out. But all being said and done, the movie wasn't too good. LeBron James wasn't too good in it either. He gets the Raspberry for worst award for worst actor of the year. Yes, we did have one little story about the Oscars this week. We'll talk about that. Actually, let's talk about it right now, because the story we have in our teasers. So we're going to present this story, post it to you in just a bit, about an hour, I believe, from when we're doing this live at 6 a.m, about before 7 o'clock. This story will post to our feed, and you get a chance to vote it up into a story we can talk about in tomorrow's version. Here is the actual headline from the Bro Bible, say that 3 times fast, a website. Will Smith may be stripped of Oscar for violating Academy Code of Conduct by slapping Chris Rock. Now, the Oscars happened last night, and I don't care for the Oscars, even though they revamped it and wanted people to watch, and apparently some people did watch. A lot of it was because of this. So what we did post in the feed last night for possible talking about this morning was the fact that a deaf actor from the movie Echo was the first deaf person to win an award. That went into the feed, didn't get into the range. It did happen. We did not post about Samuel Jackson getting his first Oscar and it being honorary, receiving it from both Denzel Washington, and the fact that it was pre-taped, so it wasn't put into the big part of the presentation. That was sad. Didn't do that. We didn't do Amy Schumer dropping bombs and jokes on Leonardo DiCaprio. Didn't do that one. It was funny. Didn't drop that in there. But we did see this last night in a blurb, and it blew up like crazy. So today you have a chance to talk about it. Will Smith. So the joke, and I'm gonna open up a little bit. The joke. The joke said by Chris Rock as he came up to do the monologue as he was presenting, oddly enough, the best documentary award. He's dropping things on folks. So folks, he did a joke on Jada Pinkett Smith on her haircut, saying that you're waiting for G.I. Jane 2 because of the haircut. At first, the camera went to them. Jada had a sour face. Will Smith laughed. Then as Chris continued, you see Will Smith walking on the stage. Snap, as Chris Rock said, slapping the S out of him on stage and dropping the line, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. And if you were able to see it overseas, which a lot of people put their clips from overseas, it wasn't bleeped. Apparently they don't care about the profanity there as we do here. And it was not bleeped. It was a bit funny. It was a bit weird. And then Chris Rock had to transition to giving out a award for a documentary. It was something. You guys want to talk about this one and more or less the ramifications of it? You get a chance to do that tomorrow if this story makes it into the range to chat up about. Now, what does that mean? What kind of nonsense are you talking, Jay Cleveland, about making a story go into some sort of range? This is what I'm talking about. Our website at thisistheconversationproject.com gives you the full details of what happens for the Conversation Project, what it's all about. The short version is we are a grouping, a story, a mission, if you will, to get the best news stories out to people out over the world and see what people are really talking about. It's not about the breaking news Chiron stories, and it's not always Russia, or coronavirus, things like that. But it's other stories that are sort of missed out that are still worth talking about, or some stories that are just so weird and wild that people kind of, once you get to know them, they get pretty good. Our feeds, if you will, on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, look for This Is a Conversation Project, and Twitter, th_conversation. That's where every 50 minutes or so we post stories like the Will Smith story, which we'll post about 6:50 this morning. And we let the people out there in the internet and the algorithms determine what stories we'll be chatting about for the next day, things you've not heard for the day. This is Monday, so these are things you might have not heard for the weekend. We gave you an extra 2 stories a day on Tuesday through Friday. We'll give you 5 stories vetted from the top 15. We gave you from the top 30 today for Monday. And we'll see what stories are kind of worth talking about. You have that choice to help us choose those stories by going to the feeds and help pick the stories. And we put it on there. Of course, the Facebook page is also where you can follow this video on Facebook all the time. Go to thisisconversationproject.com/YouTube, and it'll take you to a link to our YouTube page if you want to watch it on the YouTube for 5 days a week commentary. You only get this. If you're watching this on one of the Jay Cleveland Payne pages, you're probably watching this only on Monday. So to see this 5 this week, you'll want to follow us on the actual conversation pages, and more goodies to follow there as well. You can also stop by our website and see links to our sponsorship, other sponsors there, and our partnership page. Find ways that you may want to partner up with us to help us keep things going, keep hope and the stories and the news alive. So we also give you a few things you might not have heard, including some birthdays for the morning. Celebrity birthdays include Vince Vaughn turning 52, Kate Gosselin, not so much a celebrity. Now I think she's working at a Walgreens or something, 47 years old today. And Lady Gaga, this is Lady Gaga Day, baby, 36 years old. Those are the birthdays we have for March 28th. It's also Respect Your Cat Day. It's also fried thing on a stick day, or food on a stick day, which I really wanted to talk about. But apparently a lot of people, this is going out to my good friend Marla, who for some reason respects her cat, who I believe is trying to kill her for at least 7 years. But because the cat owns the house, the cat runs the show, she respects her cat, and you should respect your cat too, because they are evil And yes, they are trying to kill us all. One last thing for you might have heard for March 28th. Believe it or not, root vegetables aren't a natural part of a rabbit's diet. Carrots are high in sugar, we already know that, and should only be fed occasionally and to small animals because they're high in sugar. They're really bad for them. They basically give animals diabetes. Bugs Bunny has a lot to atone for in his years and years and years of munching down on carrots because carrots really aren't a favorite for any sort of rabbit. Believe it or not. This has been things you might have heard from Monday, March 28th, 2022. My name is still Jay Cleveland Payne, and this has been a pretty good presentation going so far. Thank you so much for joining us for the ride for this Monday. As we said, make sure you follow us for the Tuesday through Thursdays at our conversation project pages and send us any feedback, any live remotes, any comments going forward. We will work with them going forward. Doing some looking things. How's the blue looking for you? Is it over here? Is it over here? Is it over here? Is it over here? We're doing some touching up to some of the things popping in. Thanks to anybody who popped up live to watch us today, or you watch us in the future. Just pop your name in the comments, and when you watched it, or when you watched it in the comments, we'll know where you watched from and what we can do going forward. In the meantime, we are posting news stories right now to get ready for the next day. So if you want to know what things you might have heard for this Monday, just tune in tomorrow for Tuesday's edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard. Thank you so much. Do it again tomorrow.